It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 184. Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, as always, man, I appreciate y'all for coming back to the channel. As always, I hope y'all doing excelente out there today. Now, we was gonna check out a Lazy Masquerade video today. That was the plan, y'all. But like literally minutes ago, this man dropped a video and the title of it got me so intrigued, so I want to go and watch with y'all. Now we're gonna check it out right now. And that man is Adrian from Coffee House Crime. Going back to Adrian, y'all, and the title of the video is, check this out now, why visiting this island will get you killed. Now I'm wondering, y'all, it's either two ways that this can go, I'm thinking. Either it's like animals on the island that's so deadly and there's so many of them to anybody who go on that island will eventually get killed by them. Have y'all heard of Snake Island? Like, it was so many snakes on the damn island till it's too dangerous to even just be on the island, because at any point in time a snake might bite your ass, because they all in the trees, they in the vines, they on the ground, and you know how an island is with all that vegetation and shit, you ain't gonna be able to see no snake. Or it could be alligators. Like, this island just full of alligators. I don't know. That's just one of my theories. But the one I believe the most is that this is an island that got a tribe of people. Like a tribe. And they don't play none of that BS. You know what I'm saying? Like, they cut off from the world. They don't nobody. And they don't want nobody to come step foot on their island and with them. And they killing on sight. I think that's what this might be. But we finna check it out and find out what it really is. But before we check it out and find out what it really is, my people, y'all know what y'all gotta do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need. We back to the coffee house, man. Once again, my people. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
In this world, there are many things that can strike fear into our hearts, but none quite so much as the fear of the unknown. The inability to understand what might lie beyond a lofty mountain peak, a deep ocean trench, or indeed behind the dense wall of a distant island rainforest can be a terrifying prospect. But what if you knew this unknown region was inhabited, and moreover, by violent people so rarely seen by the world? Would you run and leave them in peace? Would you want to know more about them? Or would you risk your life to show them the ways of the world? Welcome back to Coffee House Crime, folks. My name is Adrian, and today we're looking at the mysteries behind North Sentinel Island. So this story today is a little different to my usual format. We're going to look at the island, the mysteries behind it, and what encounters we've had so far. However, before we begin today, I wanted to thank Babbel for sponsoring today's video.
Here come Coffee House with damn commercials. But hey, my first theory was right. Well, it wasn't my first one, it was my second one. That it's a tribe of people. And that's the one I was leaning towards more than anything. But it's a tribe of people. And I remember watching a video, feel like a year or two ago, from somebody's channel about a tribe of people who was killing people on sight who stepped foot on their island. I don't know if they're the same tribe or not. But we finna check it out. Let's go.
Welcome to the Andaman Sea. Far off the coast of India and in the Bay of Bengal lie the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, an Indian archipelago or extended group of islands and one of the most isolated areas in modern years. You don't get more stereotypically tropical island than this. It's always warm yet blessed with sea breezes, often intensely sunny, and goes through regular monsoon seasons. The Andaman Islands are home to several groups of indigenous people and tribes, which include the Jarawa. Tourism has also been on the rise here, and if you ever visit any of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, you will surely be amazed by its beauty. Majestic mangroves, dense tropical rainforests, and gorgeous pristine beaches. If finding a site for sore eyes is on your agenda, then you are spoiled for choice here. Now, as you can likely guess, seafood is very much on the menu here. And with so much ocean around teeming with marine life, you'll be eating some of the freshest fish on the planet. More than 200 miles of sea separates this group of islands from any other bodies of land. And if you move away from the Andaman Islands to its even smaller neighbours, the feeling of isolation amplifies. Changing the tone quite drastically here, but we're here today to talk about one island in particular, and that is North Sentinel Island. Now, if you've heard about this island already, you'll know exactly why this place is so terrifying yet so special. North Sentinel Island is about 23 square miles in size and in the rough shape of a shield. Satellite images show that it's surrounded by coral reefs and sand from all sides, and dense forestry covers almost every inch of the mainland, concealing everything within. Thousands upon thousands of satellite images have been taken, but it's simply impossible to see anything through the canopy. Now, theoretically, with absolutely no visibility of the ground underneath, practically anything could be hidden here. And the coastline doesn't offer that much either. Barring a shipwreck found in the northwestern corner of the island, no other sign of civilization can be found. And as for that shipwreck, we'll get back to that in just a moment. So here is the first big mystery of this place. But visiting North Sentinel Island is actually forbidden, and no one is allowed to visit here at all. Many islands in the area already require a permit to visit, but not even the locals of all these other islands are allowed to visit North Sentinel Island. Not that they'd want to be honest. Quite frankly, they wouldn't dare. To be more specific with you, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands Protection of Aboriginal Tribes Act of 1956 prohibits any travel to the island, and this includes a 5 nautical mile exclusion zone around its waters. There is very good reason for this, because in fact, the island is home to the Sentinelese, an indigenous tribe that is voluntarily isolated from the rest of the world. They are very fierce defenders of the islands, and historically, any attempts to make contact with them almost always ends in violence, if not death. What's more is that if you were to actually find yourself trapped on the island, there would be no attempts made to save you. Not only do the local authorities refrain from causing any trouble to the tribe, but they also avoid any prosecution or interference should anything occur. Now, technically speaking, the island...
That's crazy, y'all. Did y'all just hear what he said? He said if you end up getting trapped on this island or just, shipwrecked or whatever, they ain't even gonna send, basically, they ain't gonna send no police or no military or nothing to try to come save your ass. You fucked up, bro. That's crazy, bro. Let's go.
The island belongs to the South Andaman Administrative District, which forms part of the Indian Union Territory of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. However, recognizing that the Sentinelese want to be left alone, they've all but relinquished their ownership and authority of the island. Furthermore, if anyone were to venture to the island and be harmed or, even worse, murdered, the Indian government would do nothing about it. Take this as your first and final warning, should curiosity get the better of you. So, we've covered where the island is and why it should not be considered your next holiday. But who exactly are the Sentinelese, and why are they so protective of their land? One of the 6 indigenous peoples of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the Sentinelese belong to the broader class of the Andamanese peoples, all of which who settled on these islands around 26,000 years ago. It is fairly obvious to say that they are hunter-gatherers and foragers, living off the local animals and plants of the islands and coastline. From the limited information we do know, wild boar are known to roam the island, and it is believed that they eat an abundance of mollusks and mud crabs. Likely due to insular dwarfism, which is also known as the islander effect, the Sentinelese are slightly shorter than most of the typical human population, coming in at around 5'3" or 1.60 m. Sporting an outdoor lifestyle, and with a lack of McDonald's and Starbucks on the island, they all show no signs of obesity and are quite muscular instead. It's impossible to tell exactly how many people are on the island, with estimates varying wildly from as little as 10 to as much as 400. Honestly, it could be even more, but there is no certainty here. Interesting fact, but it turns out that the Sentinelese actually appreciate metal. On the extremely rare occasions of so-called contact with the outside world, their arrows were observed to have metal heads. Though in 1974, they did accept aluminium cookware left behind by the National Geographic Society. It is not known what language they speak, what hierarchy they follow, or even what they believe in. All that we do know is that they are most closely connected to other Andamanese peoples, and therefore may follow similar practices. Now, contact with the Sentinelese has been far and few between. Habitation of the island was first recorded in 1771, when a passing boat spotted lights upon the shore. Almost 100 years later, in 1867, an Indian merchant vessel found itself stuck on one of the island's reefs. It is worth noting here that, despite many incorrect reports, this is not the shipwreck that can be found on Google Maps. Anyway, that ship's crew made their way onshore to find food and water, but on the third day, they were suddenly attacked by a group of islanders. We now know that these were the Sentinelese, but at the time, nobody actually were aware of their existence. The crew were eventually saved by the Royal Navy Rescue Party and left in a very quick hurry. In January 1880, British naval officer Maurice Vidal Portman set sail to North Sentinel Island. He had high hopes of establishing a relationship with the Sentinelese. However, upon arriving, the island seemed deserted. It seems that the Sentinelese were likely trying to hide from the group of explorers. And although Maurice and his crew eventually found a network of paths and then villages, they all seemed abandoned. The group of explorers were eventually able to find 6 members of the Sentinelese, which included 4 children, a woman and an elderly man. Their next point of action is as stupid as it gets, but in an effort to build relations, they decided to kidnap all 6 members of the tribe. This included tying them up and putting them on a ship back to Port Blair, found on South Andaman Island. Unfortunately, with no immune system able to fight modern-day viruses, both adults died within just a few days, leaving 4 terrified children. Maurice was devastated to see them die by his actions. And what's worse is now all 4 children were becoming sick too. And so, in an effort to claw back any hope of establishing a friendship with the island, he sent all 4 children back home, along with the—
No, ain't no damn friendship, man. Now see, now I'm understanding why they don't want nobody to come to their damn island. Y'all coming to the island and putting them on y'all damn ship and trying to take them back home with you. Now I understand why they don't like people. Like, what the fuck, bro? Then 2 of them died. The 2 adults died. Now you want to try to play peace treaty or whatever and send the kids back. Man, that's some bullshit.
the large number of gifts and food. We don't actually know what happened after this, but sending 4 sick children back to the island, it is very likely they killed off some, if not most of the tribe. It's widely speculated that Maurice's actions strengthened their hostility to the world, which, to be honest with you, I can't blame them in the slightest.
Exactly.
Now, things kind of settled down after this. Maurice made his way back to the island in 1883, 1885 and 1887, but made no noteworthy contact with them. 9 years later, in 1896, a convict used a makeshift raft to gallantly escape from the Ross Island penal colony. Now, he likely felt lucky after managing to slip by without being captured, but now he was at the whim of the tide instead, a tide that drifted him across to North Sentinel Island. Several days later, search parties found his body. The man was covered with several arrow piercings and a cut throat. Moving forward, there are a few other notable moments worth discussing. In 1977, a cargo ship named MV Russley became grounded on the northern reef. And in 1981, the MV Primrose did the exact same thing. In fact, you can still see the shipwreck of the Primrose on satellite images today. It all began when a storm veered it off course and into the rocky, shallow waters. And 2 days later, a cargo boat received a desperate call from the ship's captain. He requested an urgent airdrop of weapons to, quote, fight off around 50 wild island people, all carrying spears and arrows. The crew kept a 24-hour guard until rescue teams arrived, and as soon as they did, everyone fled immediately. Now, here's another interesting fact, but the island has recently gone through severe geographical transformations too. Most of you will remember the horror of the Boxing Day earthquake and the tsunami of 2004. It ripped through the Indian Ocean, devastating hundreds of islands, and left more than 250,000 people dead. But it also had a substantial effect on North Sentinel Island too. Tectonic shifts under the island raised it and the surrounding seabed by almost 2 meters. This thrust the coral reef surrounding the island out of the water, which in turn dried out and died. And since 2004, this has been clearly visible on satellite images. And another interesting fact, but you can see from this image comparison of the ship how much the waters have changed due to the earthquake. Anyway, the main man we are going to talk about today is a devout Christian named John Allen Chow. John was born on December 18, 1991 in Scottsboro, Alabama. His father, Patrick, was an immigrant and professional psychiatrist. Meanwhile, his mother, Linda, was an attorney. Alongside his brother and sister, he was raised in a loving and nurturing home. and although both of his parents were in scientific careers, they too were devout Christians. Moving into their teenage years, both of John's siblings went on to study medicine. However, this wouldn't be the same for John himself. He was infatuated with Christianity and the excitement of adventure, and not only did he enjoy the outdoors and hiking, but he also had a childhood dream of living on a deserted island, and you can probably see where this is going. John realized that the best way to quench his thirst for traveling while also spreading the word of God was by becoming a missionary. By the age of 17, he had become aware of North Sentinel Island and its people, and, most likely buying into his fantasy to live on a deserted island, he believed that he could be the one to help teach them and bring them to God. It was in the year 2015 that John first traveled to the
Bad idea, John. Bad idea, bro. I know your intentions are in the right place, but bad idea.
Andaman Islands. He avoided North Sentinel Island but scoped the area out, building connections and a possible way to cross the sea. He would travel here again in the year 2016, all in the meanwhile living in California and working as a park guide while traveling all around America. 1 year later, in 2017, he completed a 12-week linguistics course specializing in communicating with unknown languages. He would even run a missionary-style boot camp which taught other missionaries how to convert remote tribes. This included a weekend full of roleplay, where half the missionaries pretended to be native islanders that lived in huts and used spears. Now, it's obvious that John was absolutely obsessed with North Sentinel Islands, and not only did he express this to friends, but he told them he'd soon visit it too. Describing it as Satan's last stronghold on Earth, he made it his personal goal in life to show them the way of God, and in 2018, he finally set out on his mission. In October 2018...
But John, I'm just saying, man, you don't know what them damn people believe in. You talking about showing them the way of God, and I get it, but at the end of the day, you trying to show them your beliefs. You trying to push your beliefs off on them. Them people, I ain't saying they can be atheists. Ain't no telling what the hell. They might believe in a tree. You know what I'm saying? That's on the island, that's they God or they whatever. So his thinking, like I said, he got good intentions, but no, John. Bad idea. Let's go.
18, John once again travelled back to Port Blair. Taking up residence nearby, he got to work on an initial contact kit, which included picture cards for communication, gifts for the Sentinelese people, medical equipment and other necessities. In an effort to keep the islanders safe, he then fully vaccinated himself against common viruses, before quarantining himself for a period of 11 days. In the lead up to his journey, he began to scout around for local fishermen who were willing to take him close to the island, and eventually he was able to bribe 3 fishermen with 25,000 rupees, the equivalent of $300 or £250. Under the blanket of darkness, the fishermen hid him in their boat, ready to make the 60-mile journey before dawn. And in the early morning hours of November 15th, 2018, they finally made it near the island's shore. Despite warnings from the fishermen, John offloaded himself from the boat and onto a kayak, before then paddling to the beach. The Sentinelese already knew that he was there. They were chanting and shouting at him as he arrived. John replied back in English, saying, "My name is John. I love you, and Jesus loves you. Jesus Christ gave me the authority to come to you. Here is some fish." In response to his alien language, the tribespeople drew their arrows, and now panicking, John paddled away as fast as he could. Despite the fear and terror at almost being killed, John was very disappointed in himself. His mission had failed, and so far, all of this effort was for nothing. He therefore decided he would have to return the next day instead. Paddling back to...
God damn, John, just let it go, bro. Just let it go, bro. Bro, they don't even understand your language, bro. They don't even understand your language, bro. Then you talking about Jesus Christ. They most definitely ain't Christians now. Most people out here do believe in a God, but they might not believe in Jesus Christ because that's Christianity. You trying to turn them into damn Christians. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy, bro. Like, bro, they don't even get what, they don't even understand you. Let's go.
To shore the next morning, he began to hear shouts and drumming, and after eventually looking up, he saw a man on a coral rock wearing a crown of flowers. In an effort to communicate, John repeated their words and chants back to them, in which the tribespeople then burst out in laughter. Making his way to the shore, he then handed over all of his gifts as 2 men stole his kayak, and before he even knew it, a young boy had drawn an arrow into his bow. Beginning to panic and worry, John began to read from the Bible, when suddenly a thwang was heard from the small crowd in front of him. John felt a sudden thud, and as he looked down, he noticed an arrow stuck in the Bible in his hands. Terrifyingly, if it were not for this book, the arrow would have pierced through his chest. Stumbling and shouting in shock and fear, John retreated as fast as he could, and after his legs found themselves deep in water, he then began to swim, paddling over 1 mile back to the boat he came from. Luckily, he made it back to safety, but despite the close call with death, John was not satisfied with his mission. Writing in his diary late that evening, he said, "I'm grateful that I still have the written word of God. It's weird. Actually, no, it's natural that I'm scared. There, I said it. I don't want to die. Would it be wiser to leave and let someone else continue? Lord, let your will be done. If you want me to get actually shot or even killed with an arrow, then so be it. I think I could be more useful alive though. But to you, God, I give all the glory of whatever happens." The next morning, on November the 17th, 2018...
Well, this is third strike, y'all. And I don't think he getting a base hit. I don't think he getting a home run. I think he about to strike out. This is third time now. He didn't left one. He came the first time. That was the first one. Then he came back again. That was his second one. The third one finna be fucked up. John.
John wrote, "I hope this isn't my last notes, but if it is, to God be the glory." John then handed all of his belongings over to the fisherman and stripped down to his black underpants. And after hopping back into the water, he asked them to leave and motor back out to sea. Saying goodbye, he swam once more to North Sentinel Island's shore. The fisherman returned to the island the next morning, motoring along the coastline in search for any signs of John. And that is when they realized something lying on the beach. Looking closer, they realized it was a body wearing black underpants, and this almost certainly confirmed that it was John Allen Chow. Just moments later, the Sentinelese dragged him into the jungle. The fisherman rushed back to Port Blair, and several phone calls later, John's family were tragically informed of his death. Now, of course, everyone who knew of his plans were devastated, but not necessarily everyone was surprised. Now what followed was an intense and very unique predicament, and there were two very large questions to answer. The first big question was, should the Sentinelese be prosecuted for his murder? And the second one was, should the authorities recover his body? Well, since John had specifically said, "Don't retrieve my body" in his diary, authorities felt inclined to respect his wish and the island's privacy. And then, 3 days after his death, his family used his Instagram account to say, "We recently learned from an unconfirmed report that John Allen Chow was reportedly killed in India while reaching out to the Sentinelese tribe in the Andaman Islands. We forgive those reportedly responsible for his death. He ventured out on his own free will, and his local contacts need not be persecuted for his actions." The authorities ultimately concluded that no prosecutions should be made, and that all of those involved in getting John to the island should be bailed out too. Indian officials initially made several attempts to recover John's body, but in the end they all agreed that the risk against the islanders was too great to justify. Repatriation parties eventually abandoned all their efforts, and to this day, John's death technically has never been officially confirmed. In fact, John's own mother even speculates that he is still alive and on the island. Her only comment to the media so far is that she prefers to let John tell his own story when he returns. Now, this is technically not outside the realm of impossibility, but considering the fisherman's reports, which, by the way, they had no reason to fabricate, the vast majority of people do believe he is dead. It's unknown.
And I do too. I mean, like, it is a possibility, but man, that's a slim to none chance right there. Them damn people killed him, man. That's just all I can, I can't even try to put in my mind that maybe he's still alive. And I can get his mama saying that. Bro. She holding on. She just trying to have hope. Let's go.
What the Sentinelese think of us, but we ourselves should look at them with respect, dignity and understanding. There is, very reasonably, a great sense of mystery and even fear towards the island and its inhabitants. We are beings of curiosity, and the unknown often scares us. But at the end of the day, the Sentinelese are no different to you and me. There is no mysterious force behind their chanting. No evil plan behind their actions, and no dark magic in their soil. They are human beings, comfortable with what they know, and scared of what they don't understand. I mean, who even knows what they think when they see a plane or a helicopter above? John held no ill intent on his journey, but the Sentinelese did not know this when he landed on their shores. With their unprepared immune systems, he could have posed an extremely serious threat to their existence. And for all we know, he may very well have even infected or killed a few just by briefly being there. And we must always remember that, despite our routine gifts to the island, some of their former experiences with us have included being kidnapped and even death through a mysterious illness. And with all of this in mind, their attacks on visitors are very likely simply out of self-defense. The Sentinelese have lived on this island for up to 55,000 years, with little or no contact to the outside world. And while it may be okay to observe them uninterrupted and from a distance, we should respect their ongoing desire to be left alone. To be honest with you, it is unclear what the future holds for the Sentinelese. But in a world dominated by rapidly changing technology, an obsession for superficial appearance, and a lifestyle that is so far removed from what humans faced in the most natural state not so many thousands of years ago, it is admirable and in some ways enviable that this tribe has been able to hold on to its privacy and natural identity. And who knows, maybe our man John Allen Chow is still out there, learning and living the ways of this incredibly fascinating tribe. Interesting side note, but John's Instagram and blog are both still up and running to this date, so what I'm gonna do is leave a link to both of them in the comment section down below. It is very unlikely that he's still alive, which of course is a shame, but at the end of the day that's what you get for travelling to North Sentinel Island. The island itself is incredibly fascinating, and being real with you, I spent many hours on Google Earth just seeing if I could find anything. Honestly, there's not much to find. There's a shipwreck to the north and huts down to the south. But otherwise, the island remains pretty much entirely a mystery. I guess that's a good thing really. I mean, they deserve their privacy. And for us, what's the fun in having nothing to wonder about? Anyway folks, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up here. Thank you.
Woo! John, man. God damn, bro. I say, I'm finna say it again. I understand his intentions. Like, I feel you, John. I feel you, bro. But that just wasn't the right thing to do, man. And then, like Coffeehouse said too, I don't believe them people are evil or nothing, bro. They just don't know shit but them. That's all they literally know, y'all. Like, they so behind in technology. Like, they don't have any damn technology. What the hell am I talking about? They don't know what no fucking running water is, no electricity is, no Wi-Fi, no McDonald's, no Walmart, no automobiles. They don't know nothing about. Man, I could go on and 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 on about how much they don't know. Like Adrian had said, they be looking up at the sky, seeing a damn helicopter or a plane fly by, like having just no clue on Earth what the hell that is. So for John to just try to save them, man, goddamn, bro. Hey, much respect to you though, bro. Rest in peace, man, because your heart was in the right place. But this, it really is crazy, man, to just think about how them people just cut off from society like that, man. I'm talking about literal, the whole world, bro. All they know is them 20 miles on that damn island. Woo! I digress, my people, man. Thank y'all once again for coming back on to the channel, and please come back tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going back to we're going to the lazy. We're going to lazy masquerade tomorrow. But until tomorrow, my friends, y'all know I got that one more thing to say. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.